and suppression.
That happens a lot.
And then I cap off corruption with 5 points, and I go back to suppression and cap off suppression with 5 points. Now, I spend my initial points this way because of my personal questing route and some higher level quests I do where it's nice to have the extra hit rating from suppression early on. I've heard people say you don't need 5 out of 5 corruption because you only need 2 points to get corruption's cast time within the global cooldown. This is true, but the point of maxing this talent 5 points into it and making your corruption instacast is so that you can corruption while moving, which is very, very, very important. It's very important for mobility. At this point, I'll put 1 point into Amplify Curse, 2 points into Life Tap, 3 points into Improved Imp, now in the Demonology tree, 2 points into Improved Hellstone, 5 points into Demonic Embrace, and then 1 point into Fell Domination. So we're going to be playing Imp Spec while leveling, but still dipping down into the Demonology tree enough to get Fell Domination as I defend Curse of Exhaustion, 3 points into Improved Curse of Exhaustion, 5 points into Shadow Mastery, 5 points into Felons, or anything that you have to kite if you need to. And now you have Shadow Mastery for the 10% increased shadow damage, which is now worth the 5 talent points it takes, because at this point you're going to have a decent amount of spell power. I also want to quickly address why I don't get Improved Drain Soul while leveling. The best way to proc Improved Drain Soul is by casting rank 1 Drain Soul, which costs 55 mana and must be channeled until your target dies. Higher Drain Soul ranks cost more mana and do more damage, while rank 1 does less damage and costs less mana, right? What I found is that, one, between my baseline spirit regen just from itemizing it and occasionally bandaging, I wasn't really in a position where I needed anything extra, and by channeling Drain Soul you do see a drop in kill speed, which adds up and ends up being a pretty substantial decrease in XP per hour. Personally skip this Alliance only quest. It rewards the Dread Mage hat. You get the As far as your rotation goes, you're going to want to make sure that you open with an Immolate and that your first Immolate lands before your Imp's first Firebolt lands to ensure that you have initial aggro, because your Imp is actually quite squishy. Then you will apply an Agony, then apply Corruption, and then you'll start one of the monsters trying to make contact with me. Doing this will decrease the times the monster can auto-attack me by 2 or 3 times per encounter as I slowly kite away from it. Now, I like to do what I call wand hopping, where I slowly hop away from the monster and I'm wanding as I'm hopping while the monster is trying to make contact with me. Doing this will decrease the times the monster can auto-attack me by 2 or 3 times per encounter as I slowly kite away from it. If you can help it, you want to kill monsters one by one, because regularly using Fear actually costs a considerable amount of mana and will increase your downtime in the long run. Now, just like I said, you might want to wand hop away from monsters sometimes. You will also want to wand hop towards monsters sometimes, like if they're wandering away from you when they're low HP, or if you did actually have to use a Fear. Now, I recommend wand hopping to chase a feared monster over Shadowbolt, because oftentimes Fear will make the monster run away so quickly that it will actually range your Shadowbolt cast, whereas wand hopping is a great way to stay within range of your target. From Demonic Embrace once you put 5 points in that talent. And before you guys ask, I know I just hyped up Spirit, so you're probably thinking, why take Demonic Embrace for 15% stamina if it will decrease your Spirit by 5% in addition? The answer is pretty straightforward. 15% stamina is worth more than 5% Spirit. To imply otherwise would be to suggest that Spirit has 3 times or more the stat weight of stamina, which is definitely not true, though Spirit is very, very valuable. So as far as professions go, every profession will slow you down on your journey to 60, other than First Aid, of course. I highly recommend, in fact, I would say First Aid is a requirement for leveling, not just for Warlocks, but for everyone in Classic WoW. Oftentimes, I'll see people argue in favor of gathering professions like herbalism, mining, or skinning, but the truth is that even these professions will slow you down as well, just to lesser degrees than leveling and chanting, for example. That being said, as you're leveling, I suggest saving extra cloth and engineering mats because I recommend going
Dinamita Flamin' Hot Queso, a crunchy, spicy torch exploding with flavor in every twisted bite.
Hey, it's me, your very dry skin. I'm uncomfortable and need extra.
All that good stuff, right? So I just want to quickly shout out the Warlock Discord. Big shout out to the Warlock Discord. Big shout out to Dive. Big shout out to Anarva, Goisha. You guys really helped so much with putting this together. I really appreciate your efforts. I'm not very quantitative. Gold, buying grimoires for your pets, right? You don't have to buy all the grimoires, but you kind of have to buy a good amount of these grimoires, dude. A lot of these grimoires are actually pretty good. We're gonna go his threat generating ability. He has 2 threat generating abilities. We'll get into it later. He has suffering and he has torment. So absolutely, you can soul fire into a searing pain, into a shadow burn. Absolutely, this is a leveling guide. Okay, so anyway, so we're talking about the leveling camps here. So with the succubus drain tanking, this is a very exciting sort of shift in the leveling meta amongst the warlock community. I'm not going to go ahead and take credit for this. I wouldn't even attempt to. The first person I saw to really bring this up and bring it to the forefront and start advocating for this, even made a really beautiful guide, put together an amazing, just immaculate guide, is Dive. I have to really shout out Dive to this, and it's something that we tested on the beta pretty extensively, not just myself, other warlocks as well. And it's drain tanking with the succubus out. And then also making use of Dark Pack once you get 40 plus. So Succubus actually deals deals high physical damage. It's kind of flimsy, right? It's kind of a little bit flimsy, but high physical damage, and oftentimes in certain level ranges, more DPS than your imp. So with this playstyle, it's kind of a single target playstyle. It's similar to the imp in that sense. You're killing one target at a time, but you're killing it like hyper efficiently.